going on, my friends? Welcome back to another video. We're out here in front of the shop. Don't mind my voice, my allergies are still kicking my butt, but shameless plug of the video, guys, before we get into it. Look at the 5th gen just out here soaking up the sun. It is supposed to be absolutely beautiful today, so we got the 5th gen sitting outside. But guys, this could be your new truck. This new truck, the new trailer, 10 grand in cash, all for buying maybe a new hat, a new t-shirt. We got plenty of stuff on the website, but we're giving this thing away to one of you guys at wrenchworks.com. So go to wrenchworks.com. Every dollar that you spend automatically gets you entered to win the 5th gen. We've got less than 3 weeks probably at this point, so make sure you guys get entered. But anyway, let's get into today's video. So the 1st gen, you know, the OG 1st gen from all the way back in the day. How many people have been here? I know a lot of you guys. So the 1st gen has been down for 11 months. 11 months since the last time last year at Smoky Mountain Truck Fest that we dynoed it, made some good numbers on the new engine setup, the new turbo setup. Ran into a couple little things, no big deal, but we're gonna upgrade some stuff today and get this beast back because this weekend we will be in Tennessee, Jamestown, Tennessee, for Blake Fitzgerald's event. So we might be dynoing some things, might be doing some burnouts, so we need the 1st gen back. It's been long enough, and that's what we're gonna kind of focus on today. Let's get inside so I can see, man. I am Captain Squints out here. Here she is, look at this majestic beast just sitting here, just waiting patiently. So last time we had this beast on the dyno, did put down some solid numbers that we are obviously looking to improve on, of course. It's a little hard to read, but just in case you guys forgot, 847 on fuel, 934 on a little bit of giggle gas here. So what we got and what we're gonna be upgrading primarily today in this video is our lift pump on this truck. This lift pump has been on the truck for quite some time, way back when we P-pump swapped it, and there are some new latest and greatest things out from, of course, the guys none other than Air Dog, which we use on everything. So what we've got their new 5G line. So this new 5G line is new. It's the 220 model because obviously we want to make all of the horsepowers. So we've got a new 5G 220. So a little bit different regulator style on this new pump. Quite a bit an upgrade from the previous models. Going to do really, really well with efficiency, keeping all of the fuel where we need it, on demand, all of the good stuff that you guys are used to, but this new regulator style is one of the big upgrades on the new pumps. So super pumped and excited to install that. So we're gonna go ahead and get our old pump off. We'll go over some of the little details as we keep working, but we're gonna go ahead and keep working because Michael's over here doing some things and stuff that you guys will see in another upcoming video. But we've got some fittings. We're gonna install this a little bit differently than our previous pump, regulator style, and we'll kind of maybe get into that a little bit, just kind of like P-pump things and stuff, but there she is. We're gonna pull the bed off, and if you guys remember back, we'll probably go ahead and use our new FLEECE sending unit. That way our fuel gauge actually works in this beast. We have made some progress on the 1st gen. We've got some old parts out. We've got our old pump out. We've got our old sending unit out. And I'm gonna show you guys all of that stuff now kind of laid out before we go ahead and put all the new stuff in. But progress is being made. Before we go any further, because I'm sure, guys, what is that? Oh my gosh. Guys, we've been over this. That is Michael's Corvette. That is getting some work done to it. Don't you guys even worry about it. But anyway, we're not hiding anything. It's usually just parked over there in the corner because we got the 05 on the dyno, as I think I showed you guys in the previous video. We have made some power. We have made some power, but that's not part of this video. You're gonna have to come back and stay tuned. And trust me when I say you're not gonna want to miss that one. Anyway, on to our Air Dog. So here's our old pump. Here is our new and improved 5G, the latest and greatest. Highly recommend AirDog. Obviously, we have from the get-go. We have never faltered from that. They have been awesome, always innovating, coming out with the newest stuff. So 5G, that was our old pump. Kind of a, you know, just a little bit of an older design. It's been on there since day one, has treated us well, but it is time to upgrade. This 5G is actually the same pump that is on the 05 over there. So super excited to run this. I know it's gonna be awesome. We can do boost compensation. That way we can keep kind of pressure down as we're idling around, and then as boost ramps in, we can kind of get our fuel pressure exactly where we need it. Without further ado, we're gonna go ahead and put this pump on. We've already got some fittings swapped over. The nice thing about this upgrade right here in my application is this pump is pretty much just gonna drop right in. All of our lines should roughly be the same as what we were using on this pump already. We did go ahead. Look at Michael just out here just getting us welded up with a little custom fitting here, so it kind of just crosses over into our lines a little bit better because we were running a little bit different setup here. So all AN lines, and then over here, again, sorry for my voice, still, allergies are still kicking my butt, but here's our old sending unit. Here is our new FLEECE sending unit that we're gonna be running with this. And again, over here, these are our fittings. So these are the fittings that your factory lines with the quick connect push lock style would be on, and FLEECE gives you these, which we're going to use these, and that will convert everything, boom, boom, bada bing, bada boom, and that's going to run all AN style connections and lines. A little bit different from our old sending unit. Our sending unit's going to work now. We've got all of our returns going to the bottom of the basket here. We are still going to use our sump in this application. Again, the nice thing about this FLEECE unit here is you can kind of configure it however you want it. All of these stuff you can see in, out. They've got a separate one over here as well. So we're going to get this configured up exactly how we're going to run it, similar to our old one, but there you go. To play catch up yet again. Got a bunch of stuff done, want to show you guys all of that, but it's getting late, but we are getting stuff done out here. We did run into a couple issues and a lot of figuring things out because a lot of things are changing as far as routing in the engine bay and line sizing. We'll go over that. It gets a little confusing, but we're gonna jump through our progress first, and then we'll get into kind of you see all the fitting, we see all the fittings. Luckily we pulled all this stuff out ahead of time previous to this, and we had ordered a bunch of fittings because a lot of stuff is changing in the engine bay. We may have had to go searching for some brand used fittings as well. Hopefully that doesn't bite me in the butt, which it has before, but what are you gonna do? We need to get this thing done, and it's pretty much at this point, it is Thursday morning. The sun's probably about to come up any second now, but we're just gonna power right through it. Anyway, so what happened in my major setback here is I wanted to adjust our current sump on the bottom of the tank, and I must have previously Hulk smashed some bolts because I went to go loosen it, adjust it, snug it up, and lo and behold, it just did not like that. The tank was full of fuel and it all drained out. Luckily we caught most of it, but some cleanup were required on aisle 6. Luckily for us, we keep a lot of parts laying around here. So I had another sump, and this new pump you really want to run a 5/8 line from your tank to the inlet of the pump. So we're running a oversized or a 5/8 line from your sump to the pump. That sump was actually already drilled and had the correct fitting in it to work with what we were doing. So easy fix after I dealt with the mess. So new sump on there. You can see we ran our new line kind of low just to get the fuel to the pump as easy as possible. That way it's not working up and over the frame like it was previously. So everything in the back here is pretty much checked off. I put some fuel back in it just to make sure our new sump isn't leaking at all or anything silly before I put the FLEECE sending unit back in and we put the bed back in. But all this is done. I did have to remake a line here. There was a hose that actually had a hole almost rubbed through it. So found that. Luckily, that would have been a pain after all this work. So went ahead and re-ran the lines, got everything kind of freshened up. We went ahead and wired in the new connector for the sending unit. So this is done, that's done, and we're going to be basically using these for AirDog pump return, and this is actually going to be engine return as well. So only returns, the feed is coming from the bottom, and we'll explain the engine bay because that needs a little explanation. So we'll go underneath the truck, I'll show you guys the plumbing, and that way I feel like sometimes the plumbing just gets a little confusing for some of you guys, especially the way we do it, which might be a little bit different, but that should explain it. You've got a return from your AirDog that needs to go back to the tank somewhere. That'll be on top. And then your engine has a return from your pump, your P pump, your pump, or whatever. And then you actually have an injector return on these. So we'll go over that. So all that stuff's gonna go back here, return on the back of the tank. And we're gonna feed this way. The feed line actually to the pump didn't change. Alrighty, so underneath the truck here, trying to show you guys with the little light. This is your inlet from the tank. So you kind of got that running along the frame rail like I showed you guys. Goes into the pump. Pump does its magic. You can see right here, that's our new fitting. And this line right here is the return for the pump. And that's going to go back to the top of the tank. And then our feed to our engine, which is the one right behind it. And that's going to go shoot up along the frame rail up to the pump. In the engine bay here, and a lot of some of the changes that are going on is with the return side. Like I said, we've got our one feed, which is what we've been using before in the past. That is this line right here. The return side is what's changing because we're going to be using this new style regulator, which we have mounted on the firewall there so nicely. So got that done, checked off the list, and we've been looking at our fittings, making sure we've got enough fittings to kind of accomplish everything. So from the back of the pump, which is back here, and again, sorry, some of the stuff is hard to see, we've got a new banjo fitting with a 1/2 inch or a number 8 size. Everything in the engine bay used to be number 6, which is a little bit smaller. So we had fittings from here, and then your injector return on these old tractor 12s right there. Kind of see it snakes through. So we've got a little union adapter to pipe thread, and then we've got a pipe thread to AN style adapter, which we had to change that as well, going to number 8 to kind of keep everything cohesive. So we're going to run a return from the pump, and that is going to go to our regulator first, undisturbed, not tied into anything. So we're going to go from pump to our return, and then that is going to regulate everything, and then it's going to dump on the bottom of that, and we're going to tie back into the existing line that is right down there. And then after we're past the regulator is where we're going to go ahead and dump the injector return, which normally isn't a lot of fuel going in there anyway. We're going to wire that back in after the regulator down there on that line. So we do have to make a couple new lines, and that was it's always the majority of the time trying to figure out how to route stuff, where to mount stuff, mounting it. And this is kind of an example of what was in the engine bay before. So if you were looking at the engine, Got this off the back of the pump. This was actually our check valve set at a certain pressure, which kind of did its job right in here. And then it went here, wide down there. This was the fitting on the injector return, and then it just wide back to the tank. So hopefully that explains your feeds, your returns, the way we're doing them. We'll be getting close. The whole goal is to get this thing done so we can put it on the dyno and go back to chasing horsepower. So that's what we're gonna do. And we gotta figure out nitrous stuff. Put all that stuff back in. But we're getting there. We are getting there, boys. You checking for Chick-fil-A in your teeth?
Got chicken in my teeth.
All right, well, it is the next morning here, and we've got a couple of those lines done that we talked about, and we're pretty much all set. I think Michael's getting ready to open up the door and kick that pump on. So we've got our regulator, we've got everything mounted up here, and that's kind of what we were lacking last night. You can see we've got our regulator. That is our return from the back of the pump. Goes down to our Y down there to go back to the tank, and we've got our boost compensation valve right here, which will allow us to run a little bit lower fuel pressure, and then as boost comes in, it will raise, which will be nice, keep our pump nice and happy. But we are all set. Install is coming to a close here. We've got our little, meter checking device, because some of the old harness was actually, for whatever reason, back in the day, Greg put some wiring in with the transmission in with that. So it's a long story, but we're getting that sorted out. Michael's getting that sorted out. Ready to rip? Ready. Kick that sucker on, boy. Well, there's only 5 gallons of fuel in it, but there she is. Ready to make some horse power. Because after we're done here, we're going right over yonder to the horsepower checker land. We got a couple loose odds and ends to tie up. Are we ready to put the bed back on now? Can I put the bed back on?
Yeah. Transmission wiring will be good. Done.
All right. That's gonna be a separate video. Can't really? Give it up. Yeah, install.
They are so mad right now.
I don't care because they're gonna have to wait. All right, you're gonna have to wait because we got the install of the AirDog video separate, and then you have to come. Because you never know what's going to happen. This could be like an hour-long video if something happens on the dyno. Dyno videos are never cut and dry.
No, that's true. Hours.
So,
days. The last one was days.
One more pull. One more pull. One more pull turns into 7 hours later. So, all right, well, I'm going to work on getting the bed hooked back up, and we can actually go ahead and start putting our nitrous stuff back in as well. Got to get the transcooler back mounted up underneath the bed, so a little bit of work there. But as far as the fuel system is installed, everything is good. And we'll have to put some more fuel in it to actually check the sending unit. But Greg wired it up, so it's got to be good. It's got to be good. So, got our returns, and we're good to go. I think I pretty much explained everything. So, I'll catch back up with you guys as we are completely done and we get this thing actually fired up and get it running. guys, well, we are finally done and wrapped up with our AirDog installation. We got the bed back on, our fuel lines are done, our plumbing is done, our pump is in, and we are ready to finally use the first gen again. I am so pumped. I'm so pumped to have this thing back. It brings a smile to my face every time. Who doesn't love the OG first gen? Who doesn't love the OG first gen? Golly, I love this truck. But anyway, guys, we got this thing strapped to the dyno. You already know what's coming next. You're gonna have to come back for the next video where we are gonna be chasing some horsepower, making sure everything is good to go, seeing what she can do before we really give her the beans. But anyway, first gen, finally back, baby. But again, huge thank you to the guys over at AirDog. You know that they have supported us for forever. I have supported them. I have always ran AirDogs. If you guys need a fuel system for your truck, go check them out. But my guys over at AirDog, huge thank you again. You can see all of our regulators right there, looking good. But we are ready to have the first gen back and making some power. But that is pretty much gonna wrap up this video, guys. As always, if you haven't already, go check, can you see that? Can you see that? Can you see the new shirts? Guys, one new shirt can actually win you a 5th gen and a brand new trailer. If you guys haven't heard, that right there, let's not talk about that. Actually, we're not gonna talk about that. We'll get into that. But anyway, guys, go win a 5th gen. Wrenchworks.com, anything you buy off the website. You only got a couple weeks left. Guys, get in now. You can't win if you don't get in. Why wouldn't you take a chance? Just a little chance. A key tag could win you that entire setup at 10 grand. But anyway, guys, Wrenchworks.com, go get entered. Appreciate you guys. We'll see you in the next video. Hit the like button before you leave. Subscribe if you have not already. Do it for the first gen. First gen is back, baby. All right, see you.